All right. So Malik Monk got hurt Friday night. And I think that's part of why you talked about this earlier. Losing to the Mavs put the Kings 2 back, but they're still tied in the season series. So if they wind up tied with the Mavs, there are tie-breaking procedures that would still allow the Kings to pass them in the standings if they finish tied. But on the other hand, I think part of the reason that it felt so devastating is because of the news that came out that Malik Monk has a sprained MCL and is out 4 to 6 weeks. Like, that is crushing, given what we've talked about with this team all year. And we can talk about Malik Monk and Harrison Barnes and secondary scoring, and okay, that's all great. But how many times have we talked about Malik Monk being kind of the heartbeat of the team and the emotional fulcrum of the team? And when you lose that, you're not only losing his playmaking and scoring off the bench, but you're just losing this pop that nobody else on the roster really brings. And that's tough to replace.
Kyle, you're losing a pop that no other playoff team has.
Yeah.
Right? It's something different. Like, Norman Powell's had a really good season.
Yeah, but come on.
But he's not Malik Monk.
No.
And so when you lose something that no one else in the league has, it's basically a second De'Aaron Fox.
Yes.
I mean, when you lose that, it's gut-wrenching. And number one, like, I didn't like the play that he got hurt on. I thought that Luka tried to draw a foul and then flopped and then fell on Malik while flopping and injured his knee.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Bush League, and I thought there were multiple times in that game where Luka did something that was egregiously, like, very well could have injured
out of
somebody.
Control and reckless.
Yeah, could have injured somebody while he's flopping or he's doing something. And then he always goes over, oh, sorry. Oh, are you okay? Are you okay? It's like, hey, man, how about you just stop doing that?
Sure.
And so, like, that's the first thing. Watching Malik Monk get up off the court and, jog to the locker room, I was really surprised when we started to hear it was an MCL sprain.
Yeah, when they ruled him out, it was
instantly, it was like, what?
And
that's probably why you lost the game. Like, the Kings would have, I think this score, well, first of all, they lost by one possession at the end of the day. They lost by 4 points.
Free throws.
Yeah, but, I mean, realistically, the Kings had a shot to tie it, and then they got a rebound back. They turned the ball over, and ball game, right? But I don't think the game would have been like that if Malik Monk was there. Malik wasn't having, he didn't play enough to let you know whether he was having like a crazy Malik game or not. He only played a minute 26, but he had a fire in his step. He had a pep to him, and it was like, okay, I want to see what this looks like.
If you're asking, if the question is like, hey, would Malik Monk have showed up when the lights were super bright?
Oh yeah,
like, yeah, probably. Maybe he misses some shots. I don't know, but
yeah,
you feel much better about that game with Malik Monk as part of the closing lineup versus Keon Ellis.
Well, I mean, look, you scored 17 points off the bench without Malik Monk's number. Yeah. Like, you could have used Malik Monk in that game, and we all know how much he means to the team. I mean, I think that game would have had, at least it would have had a slightly different tone, and we're talking about a slightly different tone where you lost by 4 points. So, I mean, could you have won that game? Yeah, you could have won that game. I think more importantly, though, is that you just feel like when the news hits, and then, again, they're going to reevaluate him in 4 weeks. And this is why, like, knowing what grade sprains are and stuff matter, because Trey Lyles just missed like 2.5 weeks with an MCL sprain. It's the same injury, but we're not going to get reevaluation on Malik for 4 weeks. So clearly his grade of sprain was higher. But this is like, it's such a blow because you don't know how they recover from this. You don't know what's next. And there is no one that can just magically step up. It has to be by committee, but it also has to be, this is a moment where, like Keegan Murray, it's like, no more kids' gloves, man. Either you show up or your team's going to lose.
Yes.
Straight up, dude.
That's it.
Like, and I would love to tell you that De'Aaron Fox is going to backpack this team for the next 8 games. I don't know if anyone's noticed. De'Aaron Fox hasn't backpacked this team for a month, maybe more. He hasn't had a De'Aaron Fox game. He hasn't broke 30 points in what feels like a while. And even if he did, it was like barely over 30. Like, it's going to have to be Keegan. It's going to have to be Harrison Barnes.
1,000%.
There are no more excuses, Harrison Barnes. You can't take 6 shots or 7 shots in a game. It is what it is. You have got to go out there and play. And then even if you say that, and you're going to get more from Keegan, you're going to get more from Harrison, you still have to make up for Herter as well. So I'm going to need something else from you, Keon. I'm going to need something else from you, Kessler Edwards. I'm going to need something from Trey Lyles. I'm going to need maybe a Sasha Knight. Like, if this team is going to win, it's going to have to be, number one, your stars are going to have to be better than they have been, which is really good. And then these other guys, everyone else is going to have to be way better than they have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remove any, because I don't think it's a hot take to say Malik Monk is the number 2 scoring option for the Kings.
Yeah.
And that's, you remove any playoff team's number 2 scoring option, there's going to be significant dominoes that fall.
Ripple effect.
Ripple effect. Thank you. That is a major deal. And you could, now some nights Malik went for 25, other nights he went for 11. You've been struggling shooting it a little bit lately, but you knew what you were getting night in and night out from a competitive standpoint from Malik Monk. And without that, like you said, there's a path there for sure. But do you want to go into a play-in or playoffs relying on Trey Lyles stepping up or Sasha Vezenkov stepping up? Or, like, at this point, how confident are you that Keegan Murray is going to be that dude? We've been waiting on Keegan Murray to do that on a consistent basis all year.
Yeah.
And maybe removing Malik from the conversation does it. Maybe now there's no, he's going to defer to De'Aaron and he's deferring. Maybe now it is going to give him the runway to be that player they need him to be. But until I see it, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, they're fine, because they're not. Right now, it's not fine. The path is there for sure. We saw Harrison Barnes step up last night, and Keegan, frankly, step up last night. That's against a shorthanded Jazz team, but that's a start. Okay, great. What do you do against the Knicks? What do you do against Boston on the back end of a back-to-back? What do you do in a series if you're down 0-2? What do you do in a play-in if you're down 10 with 8 minutes left? Like, these are the things where I just trusted, like, yeah, Malik is going to be there. Malik's going to shoot it.
Yep.
What was the bless you? What was the game where the Kings get a stop at the end? It was at the Spurs and Malik started to dribble in and then pulled back out and shot a 3. Is that the Spurs game? That's the Spurs game.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing that I don't know if anybody else on the team is doing that. Bless you again. I don't know if anybody else on it's the handoff sponsored by Zyrtec. But Kenny Caraway joining us shortly. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, but who do you trust on a consistent basis to do that? And right now it's nobody.
Well, that, and Kyle, like what I was saying earlier is, like, Fox over his last 12 games is averaging 22.9 points per game. He's broke 30 once, and he scored 31. Like, this is where, like,
he needs to be up. And I know this is
it's go time.
I need 30 a night. Like, I need that.
I might need more.
I need that kind of player.
I might need 34.
And the reason I'm saying that is because, for me, I think he's capable of that.
Oh, of course.
I'm not going to sit here and go, hey, that's an unreasonable number to want more than 39. But, like, bro, we've seen him do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did it the whole first half of the season.
Yeah. And specifically the thing that concerns me is I thought we'd see a little bit of a regression from him in the fourth quarter this year, just because he was outrageous last year.
Yeah.
So, okay, you get a little regression, but it's what do they do in crunch time now? Because it's not going to be De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, your turn, my turn. Do they get into their offense? Is it all everybody stand around and watch De'Aaron? Is it more dribble handoff stuff in crunch time? Is it pick and roll? I have no idea. But they have a ton of questions to answer between now and the play-in or playoff